When the night was closing in, I was alone and so afraid.
Hey everyone, welcome back. We got a brand new tech video again for you today. This is actually split into two videos, one for Atlas and one for Excalibur, which you will have to wait until after TennoCon as that video is more complicated. Atlas is simple. If you recall, I covered the Ceramic Dagger Incarnon about 3 months ago and how it was a game changer for so many frames. With it being a good heavy attack melee, a decent light attack melee, a good melee Incarnon gimmick, and even top tier stat stick capabilities, it had it all. Ceramic Dagger roughly quadrupled the damage output of Atlas's Landslide punches overnight by allowing you to hit red crits for free, without having to waste mod slots on gladiator mods on your frame, and without needing combat discipline in Arcane Avenger, just to break past 100% crit chance for yellows. You might notice today's video does not have red crits, but we don't need them. This is a solution for those that do not have Ceramic Dagger, but were lucky enough to pick up the Magistar Incarnon. Magistar Incarnon is the highest DPS stat stick in the game for any Pseudo-Exalt that wants to build raw damage. But that is all it can do. It cannot slash, and as an actual melee weapon, is questionable. But if you pick this up, you have the ultimate raw damage stat stick. Why? We know that Incarnon melee inheritance perks for crit chance and status chance add onto the original crit and status value of your Pseudo-Exalt before mods apply. This is important because this 30% crit chance changes Landslide to be base 35% crit instead of base 5. While Ceramic Dagger can give plus 30% base crit to Atlas, or plus 30% base status, which is similar to what I tried to achieve in my fartless video about a year ago with Proton Snap, Magistar does something different. Every single melee Pseudo-Exalt has a base crit damage multiplier of 2, with the exception of Shattered Lash being 1. Magistar grants a plus 16% innate crit chance inheritance, but it also increases the innate crit multiplier by plus 1, from base 2 to now base 3. That multiplier change alone is a 50% total damage increase and makes up for crit chance inheritance being only plus 16% instead of plus 30%. Don't believe me? Here is my Atlas with this Ceramic Dagger build. I punch the enemy at 12 times combo and I deal 5,676 damage on a red crit. This Landslide has 304.5% crit chance. If I instead use my Atlas with this identical Magistar build, which even has a matching rank 4 Gladiator Might since my Ceramic Dagger didn't have enough capacity for a rank 5, I instead deal 6,134 damage on just an orange crit. This Landslide has 182.7% crit chance. A single extra Glad mod on Atlas could push this above 200 for guaranteed oranges if you so desire because, well, we have free slots now. But this is to show Magistar Incarnon can match Ceramic Dagger as a stat stick. This is because Magistar's crit perks boost my final crit multiplier after mods to 7.5. On an orange crit, this will deal 14 times damage scaling. Ceramic does not boost my crit multiplier, so the final value is still 5 times. On even a red crit, this will still only deal 13 times damage scaling. 14 divided by 13 is 1.08 times more damage. Coincidentally, 6,134 divided by 5,676 is also 1.08 times, proving the damage gap shown is accurate. But that is not all. This is where your operator comes in with a brand new interaction. Introducing Magus Aggress. This is an operator arcane that can only activate when your Warframe is equipped with a heavy blade. Actually, this is not true. Both heavy blades and hammers can activate this arcane. So how does it work? When you melee out of your operator, you activate the arcane and gain 4 charges. The arcane immediately goes on a 20 seconds background cooldown before you are allowed to refresh the 4 charges. Every time you swing your heavy blade or hammer while you have charges remaining, it will grant plus 300% mod crit damage to your swing and then deduct a charge once per second. This is important because charges are only consumed when you swing your heavy blade or hammer and actually hit an enemy. But the buff, this buff, is universal to all melee except Exalted Melee. That is correct. Exalted Melee cannot benefit from this arcane, but Pseudo-Exalts can. This is probably because your active melee slot needs to be a heavy blade or hammer for it to apply. Anyways, yes, this adds plus 300% critical damage to Landslide. I'm going to show after TennoCon it also works on Slash Dash. There are specific reasons why I chose these Pseudo-Exalts. Landslide has damage problems that Korra's Whipclaw and Gaara's Shattered Lash do not possess. Landslide also cannot slash, so Status Inheritance Incarnons are only useful for a gas build, which I've already shown before. For Slash Dash, that ability has base 0% status chance, but force proc slash on hit, so Status Inheritance Incarnons are useless for it. Only raw damage matters to scale the force slash higher, and Magistar is the strongest choice. How much critical damage does a Pseudo-Exalt normally have for Mons? The weapon naturally has 100% scaling. Organ Shattering Gladiator might grant another 150 for a total of 250% crit damage scaling. Adding 300% critical damage will more than double my damage output. So long as I do not actually swing my melee after reaching 12 times combo, my Magus Aggress stacks last forever for my Pseudo-Exalt, granting plus 300% critical damage until either I die or I accidentally consume stacks. But I can just reactivate it by going to Operator and meleeing back into frame if 20 seconds have passed. Remember how Ceramic Dagger dealt 5,676 on a red crit earlier? And how Magistar dealt 6,134 on an orange crit for Landslide? Well, if I do that again on Magistar, but I activate Magus Aggress, my damage skyrockets to 14,379. That's over 2.5 times higher than what Ceramic Dagger can do on a red crit. You might be wondering though, isn't a pain in the ass to build a 12 times combo in Magistar with Spoiled Strike? You are correct. You can replace Spoiled Strike for Primed Fury, giving up damage for quality of life. Now you swing way faster to build a 12x combo. Sure, we only do 4,453 on an orange crit now, which is less than Ceramic, but as soon as we activate Magus Aggress, we go up to 10,439, almost double Ceramic, despite giving up Spoiled Strike for Primed Fury. More damage, for free, forever. You might also be wondering, well, what about Rivens? What about Ceramic Dagger having a monstrous 5-dot disposition? You see, Magistar also has a 5-dot disposition. If you want to grab a Riven from Magistar, the best stats would be base damage in an element that's part of Corrosive if you do not armor strip, and an element that's part of Viral if you do armor strip. Critical chance can be chosen, but you're at 182.7%. Magistar rolls roughly 225% mod crit chance on a 3+1- Riven, so this would only boost you to 230% for mostly oranges. You could also pass 200% for all oranges if you just put one more Gladiator mod on Atlas, so I consider this a bit of a waste. For Atlas himself, a couple of things have changed since my fartless video. First, this Exilus is still supposed to be prime sure-footed. This is because Atlas only has knockdown immunity when he is in contact with the floor. I jump around a lot, and you can even punch things from the air, so I prefer having prime sure-footed. You do not have to equip it, it is just a preference. Alternatively, if you want it, but you don't have it, you can bring Uneru for a 40 seconds prime sure-footed passive every single time you go Operator, since every Landslide punch refreshes melee combo. It makes Nairmon not as necessary. Natural Talent is the flex slot here, and I will explain the alternative builds options later. For now, what is important to know is that DE has screwed over the Path of Statues augment. This augment used to always path the stone trail on your punch directly into the enemy and reliably stone them almost every time. Now, the endpoint of your punch very inconsistently stones enemies, making it a lot more annoying to consistently petrify your target for Rubble and extra damage. Therefore, I have opted to drop this augment for the time being. You can try it yourself, but it was an issue for me. Rubble Heap is used because you get 50 Rubble per enemy killed while petrified, 75 if killed by Landslide while petrified. Rubble caps at 1,500. When you're above 1,400 with this augment, Landslide costs no energy. Rubble decays at 5 per second, and there is a 2-second delay before it begins to decay whenever you pick up Rubble. Therefore, it takes 22 seconds for Rubble to decay from 1,500 to 1,400, and you only need 2 petrified kills in that window. This is mainly for the energy economy. Yes, the extra damage and faster punch slide is nice too, but once you're at 1,500 Rubble, you only need to cast Petrify once every 20 seconds or so, punch 2 enemies to death, and taunt back up to 1,500. You can cast more often as desired, but keep in mind Petrify costs 75 energy to cast. Path of Statues made you able to skip Petrify to save energy originally, but it is now more annoying to get to 1,500 Rubble the first time, since you actually need to cast Petrify. DE, please fix this augment. You will most likely require 1 energy pad to get the build going, actually needing to cast Petrify. It's the same reason why I have such a massive range now. Petrify has a 32.9 meter cone hitbox, and our punch now has a 4.7 meter spherical radius. Chained punches do more damage and also have successively larger hitboxes as well. Basically, you cannot miss. Magus, Aggress, and Magistar offsets the lower strength, still letting you instantly one-shot acolytes at base steel path with ease. Now, for the flex slot, if you want slightly better energy economy, what I would recommend is slotting 2 casting speed shards on Atlas. Currently, I have 2 energy max shards already on so that I don't need to use flow. This is also a shield gating Atlas with the Decay Dragon key equipped. So long as you keep punching, you cannot lose health. If you want breathing space, casting Breach Surge or Petrify will instantly restore all shields, so long as we have brief respite at 3 Augur mods when at 100 efficiency. 2 of the Augur mods come from our Epitaph I'll show later. When you slot 2 casting speed shards, you can drop natural talent for a rank 4, yes, rank 4 streamline. This will increase efficiency to 125 and make it easier to set up your first 1500 Rubble, and maintaining energy extremely easily throughout the mission afterwards. Increasing efficiency makes us burn less energy per cast, which restores less shields for shield gating. At 100 efficiency, Breach Surge or Petrify will restore all 113 shields on cast with the Decay Dragon key equipped. At 125 efficiency, we need to replace Stretch with Augur Reach, so we have 310% energy to shield conversion instead of 270. That way, while Breach Surge now only costs 37.5 energy to cast at 125 efficiency, it will still restore 116 shields instantly, fully resetting our 1.3 seconds shield gate. My Epitaph build is super basic for crowd control, radiation procs, and spreading viral to boost our punch damage if needed. It's primarily for rad procs at base steel path since everything dies so easy. Make sure to bring the 2 Augur mods here for shield gating purposes. The viral procs for extra damage would be useful for if you say take this into endurance and your typical Breach Surge setup. Operator and Focus School are as mentioned earlier. We use Neramon for ease of combo maintenance, but it is not required so long as you use secondary and primary dexterity on your Epitaph and primary weapon. That will grant Magistar 20 seconds combo duration, and every Landslide counts as a melee hit to reset the bar, so Neramon's power spike is technically skippable. For what, you may ask? Primarily for non-prime sure-footed owners, you could take Uneru for Poise, granting you prime sure-footed effects for 40 seconds whenever you transference. Operator Arcanes are very obviously Magus Aggress, which is the entire point of this video, and the other is a flex slot. I personally prefer Magus Elevate to just heal off chip damage. If you have some other confident, reliable way to heal, then Magus Anomaly for a grouping to build combo faster in Magistar, or Magus Lockdown to crowd control annoying targets, or when you down and last gasp your Operator for a easier time of reviving. You just go into mission, build combo Magistar to 12 times, build to 1500 Rubble, and punch everything to death, with the occasional Petrify cast whenever you drop down to 1400 Rubble. If you're interested in my discussion about the Incarnon mode, check the pinned comment. Cheers! If this is your first time watching, feel free to leave a like or better yet subscribe, but let me know your thoughts down in the comments. 79.5% of you are not subscribed. I'm trying my best to get you new information out always, as soon as possible like I've been doing with the Duviri update. Stick around if you want to see interesting memes and builds on a nearly daily basis. Don't miss out on any of that, do you? That'll be it for this video. Thank you all for watching, and see you all next time.